But first of all, Pakistan and Benazir Bhutto. When the former Prime Minister arrived back in the country 2 weeks ago, after 8 years in exile, the homecoming parade in Karachi was quite literally blown apart by an assassination attempt. A suicide bomber exploded a bomb meters from Ms. Bhutto's open-top bus and killed more than 130 people. Benazir Bhutto joins us now. Benazir, hello and welcome.
Thank you, David.
Tell me, has that terrible assassination attempt affected your decision to carry on with this battle?
No, it's that horrific incident in which 158 innocent young men, a woman, a baby lost their lives has just made me more determined to continue. I do believe Pakistan is under increasing threat of an extremist takeover. And to save the country, I believe we must restore democracy, get the people's faith in the country, moving the country forward. So I'm determined to go ahead with the mission to save Pakistan with democracy.
And how do your children feel about this? They're old enough now to know the risks you've got to take.
This is one of the reasons that I traveled from Karachi to Dubai. I wanted to console my children. I couldn't come immediately after the bomb blasts because we had to tend to the wounded and also condole with the families, and I had to pray at my father's grave. But I came here to be with them. They were asleep when the midnight blasts took place, and in the morning they got text messages from their friends saying, "We hope your mother is well." They were pretty upset. And then their father came into the room and said, "I have something to tell you." And they said, "Well, Dad, we already know." They're coping, but obviously they worry. They do want me to continue, though. They understand that I'm doing this for their country and for all the people of Pakistan.
That's a marvelous story because it underlines the way that our children these days get their information almost before we do.
That's right. And not only our children, but what has really, in a sense, I'm overwhelmed and in a bit also feel a tremendous sense of responsibility, a burden of responsibility, because one of the mothers who lost her sons in this terrorist attack that took place in Karachi has just volunteered her other son to join up as one of my security guards in Rawalpindi. And when our party boys told her she didn't have to do it because she just lost one son, and the mother turned around and said, "The only hope that we have is that she succeeds, and that's the reason why I want to send my second son to be her security guard too."
That's very courageous indeed. Tell me, do you know yet, does anyone know exactly who was responsible for this assassination attempt? There was one report that said that you had arranged to send President Musharraf a letter to be sent in the event of your death by assassination, urging him to investigate certain individuals in his government. Is that true?
Yes, it is true that I wrote to General Musharraf. I received information from General Musharraf that a friendly country had passed on to them the information that I could be attacked by a gang from the Afghan warlord Baitullah Masood, or by Hamza bin Laden, the son of Osama bin Laden, or by the Pakistani Taliban in Islamabad, or by a group in Karachi. So I sent back a letter saying that while these groups may be used, I thought it was more important to go after the people who supported them, who organized them, who could possibly be the financiers or the organizers of the finance for those groups. And I named 3 individuals who I thought were their sympathizers. Now I understand that I could be wrong and my suspicions could be misplaced, but these are the people that I suspect want to stop the restoration of democracy. They want to stop my return because they know in 1993, when Pakistan was on the brink of being declared a terrorist state, I stopped the rise of terrorism, and they know that I can do it again. So I feel that these are the forces that really want to stop not just me, but the democratic process and the will of the people from triumphing.
And in terms of these three people that you mentioned, were they members of or associated with the government?
Yes, well, one of them is a very key figure in security. He's a former military officer. He is someone that has had dealings with Jaish-e-Mohammed, one of the banned groups, with Maulana Azhar, who was in an Indian jail for decapitating 3 British tourists and 3 American tourists. And he also had dealings with Umar Sheikh, the man who murdered Osama bin Laden. Does not necessarily mean direct evidence, but I also know that internal security has totally collapsed in Pakistan, and that internal security cannot collapse without there being some blind eye, if not collusion, being turned to the rise of the militants and militancy. Not only are our tribal areas out of our control, but even the beautiful valley of Swat is now under takeover by Islamists. So I would like to see a Pak-led police inquiry assisted by Scotland Yard or the FBI come in, use their forensic and scientific explanation to find out not only the perpetrators, but the financiers and the organizers of this heinous crime that killed 158 innocent people.